from Columbia, South Carolina, through Atlanta by way of New Jersey, and then back over to LA.
You never lived in Peleahatchee?
Never have. Okay. Sounds like a place I'd like to live. Sounds like just Southern people. Peleahatchee.
Mississippi.
I've lived in 96 South Carolina. I moved there.
Of course, this is J. Anthony Brown.
The one and only himself. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing great. Good to be back in Gary, Indiana, home of the Jackson 5.
Oh.
I had an opportunity to drive by and see the tiny house, and that was amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah, J. Anthony Brown. And of course, we got Sharice White. Sharice
White.
Spelled C-H-A-R-E-I-C.
Yes, Sharice.
Tommy, how are you?
How you doing, Sharice?
I'm good. How are you?
Everything is all right. Of course, we've been waiting on this week for Mr. J. Anthony Brown, who's going to be appearing as a majestic star. And of course, we got Natalie standing over there.
Yes.
And he has a whole host of group of people.
I have Chris Paul and Huggy Lowdown.
They were here
They
yesterday.
were here. They came in yesterday. Yeah. It takes him two people to say one word. So I understand. They're a team. That's what teams do. It takes two people to make one sentence, and he finishes his sentence. Very funny guys. Very, very. Since they've been added to the show, I was saying this last night. Chris Paul's segment and Huggy Lowdown segment through the roof. People stop what they're doing to hear what Huggy's going to say, and a phenomenal comedian. And I don't want to say too much more because they're going to ask for more money. You know, if you like them too much, then they're going to go, well, you said all that on the radio, then we get more money. It gets all ugly. So let me just stop the accolades right there. I always tell kids when I talk to kids in school, never let what you can't do stop you from what it is you want to achieve in life. Because sometimes we put so many obstacles on. I'm a perfect example. There was no way I should have had a writing job when I couldn't type or spell. But I knew that there was a bunch of people out there that could type and spell, and all I had to do was hire one. But this was before the internet and Twitter and faxing, so that meant I had to drive to go get my jokes.
All the way to New York?
I'd have to drive to New York. We taped the show in LA, but I found this lady who could type, and it was so weird because I'd call this lady up, I'd get the newspaper, and I'd read, and I'd say, all right, first joke is such and such and such. And she's like, what? Who is who? And I go over and I get my jokes. And I'm here to invite everybody down. My goal when I came here, Sharice White invited me to do comedy here along with Bridget, a good friend of mine, to do comedy here about what? 6 years ago?
1 year.
No, not the first time I did comedy when you guys had me outside.
Oh, wow.
It was about 6 years ago. It was a cold night. It was a band outside, but I was a trooper. The people had a good time. It was so cold out there. I entertained the people, and she said, if you're real good, next year we're going to let you inside the boat. All right? But you got to prove yourself outside in the cold. That's how we do all our entertainers. In fact, when the Temptations came in, we had them sing outside. And then if they were good, then we let them inside the boat. That's how everybody do. You got to prove yourself on the yard without a mic stand, without a mic. And I was glad to do it, but it was like, I don't know, it was some sort of a function or something, but they were real, they were open to comedy and they liked it. And we came back and I said, I got to try to put a comedy club on. When a black man's trying to do something and it don't go his way, he wants to walk off the job. He wants the black man. Most black men are still on their jobs because there's black women that work there. They're fool. You ain't got no, get back in here. No, the man ain't good, but the man, get in here. It's too close to Christmas, be acting a fool. So Sharice, if I go to, it's weird because I called her Sherry for like 2 years. Bless her heart, she answered. She would answer. And then she just got to the point where I'm just not going to answer. That's not my name. And she's, just down in terms of whatever I'm trying to do. I'm from doing comedy for about years. Since I've been doing years. That there's so many different types of market that you can cater to. One of the things that Sharice does here is she came with these ideas of doing theme nights. Like the first time we did it, we did Breast Cancer Awareness Night.
Oh, yeah.
We told people to wear pink. I mean, it was so much pink out there. Last night and tonight, we're honoring the veterans. We're having them stand up and be recognized in the audience, and we're giving out a little. It's not, like it's not a lot. It's not a parade, or we don't have a placard. But it's sometimes when people get recognized for what they're doing, they really feel honored and they want to be a part of it. You're a veteran. Let's go see it. Let's go check it out. And they're having a good time. So this is the perfect team. Tom Jr. Show is the absolute best job I've ever had in my entire life. The hardest part of that job is waking up. I do the show from Los Angeles, California, and I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. So we go on the air at 3. Tom's in Dallas. They get up at 4, and they go on at 5. So it's a big difference. It's a different beast. And he's come out there to do the show from LA a couple of times. And I don't know how you do this. So it's kind of the fact that he understands, you can be late sometimes, because that's just, you gotta go. If you get up at 2, you gotta go to bed at 3 o'clock if you're this age. When 3 o'clock rolls up, if it's 4 in the daytime, I'm like, I'm up too late. I need to go to bed. So I can go to work. But once I get there, and once the mic opens and it's Civil and Tom, and before it was Miss Dupree and Myra J and Melvin, and then Huggy comes on, it's the best job ever. It's the best 4 hours of my life. I've been through a lot of things. I've been through divorces. I've had people die in my family. I've lost loved ones. But when you get to that job and that mic opens up and you got a subject that we can have fun with and people start calling, it's the best. It's there. I tell this story all the time. When my father died, he had 2 legs amputated. That's not funny. That's not the funny part. It's not funny about getting your leg. But when he died, I looked into his drawer. Before he died, I looked into his hospital drawer. The man had a drawer full of honey buns. A drawer full of honey buns. Now his attitude, it would make sense if you've lost 2 legs. I already lost 2 legs. Why can't I have a honey bun? What am I gonna say? Well, how do you argue with a man who's 2 legs gone and all he wants is a honey bun? What would you say? I'd take a honey bun. Thank you very much.
Hey, you know what? If you want to call us, I'm sure Jay is going to take this. Jay is going to take this call. The number is 885-1371. So much fun down here.
Man,
come on, Sharice, come on. You brought this guy to
Take a honey bun. The man said the right thing. What would you say? He lost 2 legs. What is going to make my dad happy is what? A honey bun. Here's the other thing about my dad. I love my dad. My dad was the greatest talker in the world. My dad had this. Now I can talk on the radio.
It runs in the family.
It runs in the family. Okay. But I can't go up to people and talk. I'm not that person that'll go on a club. The radio, I got it. But my dad can talk to anybody. Okay. My dad was notorious for borrowing money. Oh. He loved finance companies. Loved them. He bought, and I would go to the house. And I'm like, what are you buying? You still got a big back television. Where's this finance money? You have a secret girlfriend? Where is this money, Pop? $0.25 I don't know where he got it. 75 cents on the dollar. Before my father passed away, I was fortunate enough to be blessed enough financially to get my dad out of debt. I paid his debts off. So when he died, I thought he had no debt. 2 days after my dad, I get a call from a finance company, and the guy said, your father borrowed some money before he... I'm like, son of a... That was my dad.
How much was the big bills?
About $5,000. He went hard. He was like, the boy got it. Everything I've gotten into television was basically because I was a stand-up comedian. I was recognized to write on Arsenio Hall show was because I was a comedian, and because I knew the guys who were writing on his show, who were comedians. At the time when Arsenio Hall started his show, he only had 2 writers. So the 2 guys would come in the morning, you'd write the jokes, then about 12 o'clock they'd be gone. You'd pick up the paper, and you see LaToya Jackson is riding on a motorcycle, or Jacksons are doing something, whoever, whatever. You write jokes and you turn them in, and you were gone because it was very laid back. The show was very new. Paul Clay, who was a white guy who was a friend of mine, when I first moved to LA. He said, come over. First day I get to LA, it's like mind blowing. He says, come over to Paramount and hang out with us. Once we finish the monologue, which is the days of writing jokes, we can go get something to eat. I mean, I land in LA, I drive a powder blue Escort across country. That's a whole different story. Don't laugh, man. I mean, you know what? I see how it is now that you're gonna laugh at my pain. And I'm sharing a story with you. I had a Sharice. When I first started comedy, I wanted a brand new car, and I had to get a car that I could afford. Oh no, I got powder blue. It just now when I think about it, it just don't even make sense. I got a powder blue Escort, brand new, because I wanted to be able to go to different places and the car wouldn't break down. Because I had a Pinto and it broke. See what I'm saying? You try to share stories with people, and now the diabetics are eating chicken. Now they're not even listening to me.
I just want to talk about, were you this funny as a child?
No.
Did you give your mother a hard time?
No. I was afraid of my parents. And I'm still, my mother, I remember listening to Dr. Laura. She had this thing where she wasn't speaking to her mother. She stopped talking to her mother like for 20 years. I'm like, I talk to my mama every day. I mean, she's dead, and then she talked back. That's a whole different story. But I was afraid of my parents. I never, went to jail or never talked back. But what the relationship I had was that I always wanted to be around people who made people laugh. I just was gravitated to those people. I had an uncle that would come, and sometimes when you grow up, you never figure out, you never have your aha moment. Like I had an uncle who would come to our house, and it didn't dawn on me that he wasn't as rich as I thought he was, and as he had us believe that he was rich, because he had a good job at the cookie factory, and he would bring us cookies, and I'm like, this dude got it going on. This the richest dude this dude got a nice car and a trunk full of cookies. Man, this don't get no richer than that. And he was a Seventh-day Adventist, and Seventh-day Adventists shut everything down. They don't do nothing past 12 o'clock on Friday, so we got to cut our TV off, and we can't listen to the radio, and he talking about how rich he is, but he feed us these cookies, man, and like, okay, we follow. But here's the thing. He's got all this money, but he never got a hotel room. He stayed with my mama. And then it dawned on me when I grew up, well, why didn't he get a room? If he had all this money. But I always wanted to be around him. When my cousin Melvin came to visit us, I wanted to be in the room. I had an auntie, my Aunt Emily was an alcoholic, bless her heart. Straight, read the paper, front and back, when she's not drinking. Once the alcohol gets in her system, the tongue gets heavy. Her tongue gets heavy. And then not only is her tongue heavy, but she's denying that she's drunk. So you say, Emily, you been drinking? And your tongue gets really thick. And you know what I mean? Because your tongue is thick. Ain't nobody tongue different. And my grandmother knew that if you turn the heat on, here's a little tip for people who live with an alcoholic. Heat makes them go to sleep, okay? Turn your heat up as high as you possibly can, right? It will knock them straight out. But my aunt knew what was going on. But I wanted to be around her. I wanted to be in the room with people who made people laugh. I watched comedy, everything. Hey! On the radio. I'll see you tonight. You know I just kidding. Bye, dear.
What's in the future for J. Anthony nationally as far as the syndication?
Man, I'm gonna get a syndicated radio show.
Are you?
I'm gonna be on in the afternoon. I'm gonna do maybe 1 hour, 2 hours. I'm gonna be able to talk to people. I'm gonna call it the J Spot. That's a perfect name.
So how many stations you need this?
I'd like 116.
116.
I just thought it would be a good number. But I start with 4.
Sounds like that boy went to Harvard.
I always tell kids when I try to talk to them is you got to do something that you have a passion for. Find something that you would do for free. Do it for free. Become very good and what is your name? All right.
Hey,
Call back.
wait a minute. I don't think this guy is fair.
Yeah, because he called back.
Yeah, he probably called back.
Somebody. Hold on. Let me talk to my judges. Judges, we gotta huddle up.
Wait, let me ask you.
All right. You're lucky the judges let you win, man.